Alright, hey guys, here we are back for another Golf Clash tutorial, Juniper Point, hole number 9. So, a couple ways to go about doing this with this tee box. One of the things we can do is we can try to beat it down there. A little bit of curl. I'll try to use foam curl, maybe sometimes a little bit of backspin, just kind of dependent on the wind. Another thing we can do is we can just lay it up, just so you know, and try to get it right here. Especially with this quarterback, it's really, really easy and simple to do that shot. So I do want to just kind of point you in that direction. However, when we get the wind like this, we're just going to go more aggressive and try to point over towards the right half of the fairway. Oh, it looks like I might have just underestimated that wind. I thought it was going to help carry the ball. I thought I'd get up there, and I didn't. So this is a situation where a extra mile is kind of a little bit favorable. This is one of the more hard holes. Another thing I could have done to make my life easier, just didn't feel like it because it was a tailwind, is you can go tighten, and I could have secured that fairway pretty easily. Similarly to what you see my opponent doing. It's actually a hard fairway to hold though, so just because my opponent has these clubs doesn't mean he's necessarily going to pull it off. In fact, there you can see a great ball. We're both going to be in the bunker. So it's kind of a 50-50 crapshoot. Even with a perfect drive, it might not go as planned and be quite as easy as you might want it. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this very, very simple, easy, and just try to get it out, more so than anything, about 5 or 6 rings, and just hit it right down the center and set myself up for a very reasonable pitch situation. So, it's still going to be makeable from here, but I did want to just kind of let you know about those options. If I tried to lay it up, I would definitely use a Titan, and as I mentioned, I can just kind of, with the curl of the quarterback, I can bend it very easily into that little funnel area with the quarterback as a layup. But with a tailwind situation like that, you're going to see me play it just a tiny bit more aggressive. And as I was mentioning, I had thought that it was going to carry enough, and unfortunately it just didn't. So it was a little bit of risk. I could have negated some of that risk by just going with a Titan ball instead. So it looks like I'm going to be very close here to a min club adjustment. And you can see kind of what's happening to the ball guide, so you might want to definitely crank it up a little bit. That's what you see me doing. And I always try to go a little bit deep in a tailwind situation. It's going to compress a bit. And here we're going to go, right about 1.5 or so, maybe just a little bit light of 1.5 right in here. So missing your perfect ball. I hit the pin. No chance. So I had to hit perfect there, and a little lazy, but you can see with the thorn, we're going to easily be able to backspin that, give it a very good chance. And as I mentioned, you could see with what I was doing with the spin, with the 2-side spin there, try to bend it as opposed to running into the stick. I wouldn't have ran into the stick with perfect ball. That's what I recommend, is trying to go around the pin instead of just backing it up straight. Some guys will make the mistake. They'll try to back it up straight, get it right behind the hole, and it will hit the pin on the way through. So that's the thing that you want to avoid. But, nevertheless, I just, interested in getting to the shootout anyway. There's still quite a few holes that I need to cover. So, do take, some of these strategies and tips at heart, and hopefully, you figure out the best way to go about this. Extra mile, they're not going to be able to eagle this very often, similarly to you. So if you can go, lay up Guardian full power, for example, with a Titan ball, you're going to give yourself a very good chance to perhaps win outright, but at the very least, you should wind up with a lot of ties more times than not. So good luck with that hole, guys, and I'll catch you guys on this shootout coming up.